This video is an example of how a Clay student leadership class should be administered.
Hi, I'm Abel Lopez and welcome to Clay Student Leadership. Today we're going to be learning about leadership, about attitude, and some more topics that will help your life. As we go through this, you should have a handout that you're going to fill out, and feel free to write notes next to it as we come and speak to you about leadership, and we're going to have a great ride. So I'm excited to be here with you via video. Today, the first subject that we're going to talk about is leadership. What comes to your mind when you hear the word leadership? Now, you need to remember that there is no right or wrong answers. We are here to learn together, and I want you to be able to think, because great leaders will learn to think for themselves. You must remember that if you have no plan, you will always be at the mercy of those who do. So for the next 60 seconds, I want you to write down in your own words what you think leadership is. We're going to play some music in the background, and as we play this music in the background, take your piece of paper, take your pen, and write down what you think leadership is. Remember, there's no right or wrong answers, so go for it. Leadership is the ability to lead. There's many definitions of what leadership is, but today we're going to concentrate on one part of it, which is the ability to lead. It's very important and crucial that you hear these next few words that I'm about to communicate to you, because I don't need you to lead the nation. I don't need you to lead the community. I don't need you to lead your school or your home. I need you to lead yourself. See, if you're to be a great leader, you must be able to lead yourself. Now, let me just share something with you, that great leaders aren't just born, they develop over time. So it's about starting a journey today that you will be able to lead the rest of your life. So leadership is the ability to lead. Sociologists say that even the most introverted, reserved person will influence at least 10,000 people in their lifetime. Imagine that. Do you know 10,000 people personally? Probably at your school, there's not even a third of that in attendance. So what does it mean to be an introvert? Well, the introvert, you've probably seen him around in your community. He's that quiet guy that sits in the corner, that doesn't speak to anybody. He's just always to himself. He doesn't have any friends. He doesn't know how to make friends. So what happens is that person, sociologists saying that he can influence 10,000 people in their lifetime. Imagine what can happen if you today begin to lead yourself. Leadership, the ability to lead. So today we're going to ask you to begin the journey with us. Will you begin to lead yourself? And these next few minutes, what I want you to do is we're going to investigate and find out more about what leadership is. But for the next few minutes, I want you to write down who has influenced your life. I want you to write it down on your piece of paper, and I want you to write down why these people have influenced your life. Now, it needs to be somebody that you know. I remember one student said, Elvis Presley influenced my life. And you weren't even born when Elvis Presley was around. How does he influence your life? It's got to be somebody that's involved in your life, somebody personal to you. So take these next few minutes and write down who has influenced you and why.
Beneath my head, look inside my heart and soul.
You must be amazed by the people that you wrote down. Most of us always write down my mom, my dad, an uncle, an older brother. These are all people that have influenced our lives. But you know, the interesting thing about it is that the people that have influenced our lives aren't because of maybe the $400,000 home they have or the M6 BMW or the big bank accounts. It all has to do with things that happen on the inside of them. I remember students telling me how their parents have influenced their lives. My dad influenced my life. My dad was first generation Mexican. He had to swim across the river to work every day. But let me tell you something. He became an orphan at the age of 8. His own father committed suicide. His mother, my grandmother, died in an auto accident 2 months later. And at 8 years old, my dad found himself alone. He became a businessman here in America with a third-grade education. And you know what? He really influenced my life. Not because of what he accomplished, but what was inside of him. You're going to find out that the people that you wrote down on your paper are those people that they're normal and everyday, average people. But what makes a difference in their lives and what's impacted yours is the fact that those people have something that drives them inside, that has reached out to you and touched you. So let's go to this next segment. Leadership is 10% of what happens to me, but 90% of how I react to it. What does that mean? I want you to just think for a few seconds what that statement means. You know, when I saw this statement and I started living it in my life, things started to change in my life. Why? Because there is a 10% that I cannot do anything about. I can't control the fact that somebody's going to get up in a bad mood and be yelling at everybody that they run into. I can't control that. But what I can control is that 90%. How I react to it. I will not allow someone to dictate who I am. I will not allow somebody to set the tone for my life. You have that same ability, but it must start with your ability to lead yourself. Leadership is the ability to lead myself. It has to start with you, because 10% of what happens you cannot control, but 90% it's all about how you react to it. Let's go to this next one. This is what I call the unchangeable truth. That means that this truth has been here before you were born, and it'll be here after we all die. Now, the leaders that recognize this principle of leadership and know that this is the foundation to it, these leaders will be successful. So what is it? It reads this way: I will stir up my gift and will not fear to make the right choice in my life. What does that mean to you? When you hear that statement, what does it mean? Well, let me share what it probably means. And I know what it means to me. See, the ability to lead begins with us. If you're to be successful in life, if you're to go on and do great things in life, it's not going to happen if you sleep till 1 o'clock in the afternoon and just play Xbox till 6 o'clock in the morning. In 20 years, you and I will have this same conversation. The only way it's going to happen is that if you begin to stir up your gift. Because inside of you, there is a gift. There is something that you want to become. But you must begin to do that. You must begin to shake that ground and start living out your life and dreams. You will not fear to make the right choice in life. Why? Because that gift in you, as it begins to get developed, as you begin to work on it day in and day out, you will know that you're doing the right thing. So let's move forward. Know that the ability to lead is in you. And know the fact that 10% of what happens to you, but it's about 90% of how you react to it. So stir up that gift and do not be afraid to make the right choice.